Hey Anna, Daphne here. It's so nice to get your essays and your next speaking. Well done, keeping working. Thank you. The speaking, if you will permit, I'll do later today. I just wanted to get your essay back to you now. So the speaking will come later. Thank you for writing a review. That'd be lovely. I'll find out where. I'll ask Emily. I think you were dealing with her before, but that would be so kind of you. Thank you. Score, yes, I'll give you an estimate. Obviously, it's so hard, and you're not writing in exam conditions. I'm not sort of examining it like in an exam conditions, but yes, I'll give you an idea, of course. Now, this thing about the examples, this is really important. Okay, so basically, what you have to do is use a general example, which is like this. So don't use a personal example. You're right not to do that, because it's obviously, as you said, academic writing. But you can take a source. What you have to do is just give a realistic, a credible example. So, for example, I don't know where you are in the world, but if you're in Spain or if you're in Mexico, if you're in India, whatever, choose a newspaper or something local to where you are. So that's really, really important. Or choose a university near where you are. That immediately makes the essay more relevant. And I'll show you in your essay, but exactly that kind of thing is absolutely perfect. Yeah. And because it's credible, I'd always choose a slightly crazy number, like 23, don't make it too obvious. But that's exactly right. But as long as the example matches what you've just said, that's the most important thing. And you're not saying, in my family, this, because that's, although they say using examples, they don't mean this. It's very misleading. They don't mean your own experience, really. They really mean something that you might know about, general knowledge. And this, yes, key themes, yeah. What would be appropriate to write somewhere near you live? A newspaper where you live. I mean, I'm in the UK, so I would put the Times newspaper, or if you don't want to name a name, if you feel a bit worried about that, you put online blogs. I mean, maybe that's too informal, but online journal, online newspapers, news sources. That's pretty abstract, isn't it? So any of those sort of things would be okay. Good questions, really good questions. So let's look at the essays first. So these days, more and more people are travelling domestically. There are clearly many benefits, but there are also some who argue it has drawbacks. Okay. Throughout the past decades, travelling around the globe has become more and more both necessary and appealing to many citizens as a result of decreasing flight prices, globalisation and international work. Fantastic, lovely start. I'm not sure that's an actual thing, is it? Is that so different from globalisation? I kind of question that word, but I love the rest of it. So throughout the rest case has become fantastic. You've got that present perfect right. Yes, and appealing to many citizens. I put a comma there as a result of decreasing flight prices, globalization, and the desire to discover the world, or to discover unknown places, something like that. I don't think you can have internationalization, actually. This phenomenon poses advantages, but also some remarkable negative effects. Now, you can pose a threat in terms of collocation, so the words which go together. You pose a threat. You can't pose an advantage, actually. You can offers advantages, but also some remarkable negative effects, now, which will be discussed. Now, watch out here, Anna. This is really important. Okay. So what you need to do here, I'm going to put it in blue, it's really important, is expand. So offers advantages for for understanding cultures. So you need to give me something. So what you can't have is, oh, there's some advantages and oh, there's some negatives, and leave it like that. It's not high enough level. It's what we call an empty sentence. It's empty because you could put it in any essay. Every sentence has to work for your essay right now. So advantages for understanding cultures, but also some remarkable negative effects. So remarkable negative environmental effects. Okay, so just by putting in those 4 little words, we've upgraded that sentence and made it relevant to this essay. Okay. So that's fine. I do think it's quite nice if you've got time to say, this essay will discuss the effects, these, or this trend, using examples from, let's think where we could, from, you could have National Geographic, and University of whatever. University of something. That should be a capital letter. Okay. This, if you think of the introduction introduces your essay. So you made a nice statement here, but you need to kind of lead the examiner into the essay. Inherently curious explorers, wow, always seek new adventures. Now we seek something, we don't seek for. So, but otherwise excellent. Always seek new adventures and see travelling as the best way of spending their money, because understanding foreign behaviour patterns, unknown cultures and language may help, just typo. Now, you help somebody to do something, so you may help them, you need that object there, become more open-minded. Fantastic, lovely writing. Additionally, employees in multinational companies used to travel a lot until, I know, it was fun. Used to travel. We can't have it a lot, it's a little bit too informal. Used to travel frequently. And without even thinking, didn't they? Until COVID pandemic broke out. This is getting very long. You need to put and. If deals for significant projects had to be signed or clients were required, as we were. Hang on a minute. You've started with if, so I'm looking for the conditional. If deals for significant projects had to be signed or great clients were to be acquired, as personal contact can certainly increase. Okay. Okay, my fault. Used to travel a lot. Used to travel frequently. Comma here then. And if deals for significant projects had to be signed or great clients were to be acquired. Okay, lovely. I think you could put if or when actually might work. Deal had to be signed or new. Great doesn't work. Or important. I go important deals. It's difficult to acquire a client. I think I'd go deals, but it doesn't really matter too much. Just working out the structure of this. That's fantastic. I love that passive infinitive there. As personal contact can certainly increase the probability of convincing a client. Let's inquire for cooperation. Convincing a client. You see, if I convince someone to cooperate, it sounds really rude. It sounds like you've got to do what I want. So that's why I'm cautious on that one. To convince to, why don't we go, it doesn't really matter, but I would just go securing a new client or deal. Yeah, we secure a client, so we kind of make them safe with us almost. So I would secure a new client or large-scale deal. Okay, that works very, very well. Really, really nice. What you needed with that sentence was the commas to break it up. Otherwise, it's incredibly long and the structure looks confused, but you absolutely got that. Really nice. Really, really nice. Nevertheless, this phenomenon has already damaged. Okay, so you've got to have present perfect. It hasn't finished our environment in a noticeable way. The increasing number of cruises, planes and cars driving from the suburbs of towns to city centres or industrial areas during rush hour. I would go here, is significantly contribution. I would go continuous here. Is contribution to emissions. Because it's happening now. This is unfinished, so that's why you want the present perfect there. But this is happening now to emissions causing climate change. We don't need that, it's in general. It's acknowledged that flights have a relatively high carbon footprint compared to other yeah, you don't need if there. You can, but you don't need it. Hence, especially national flights are said to be one of the most polluting. Yes. So you've got here, this is, so let me just watch your word count. Yeah, okay, so you've got space. So rather than this, hence, you could have here a recent study from the Transport Agency in Dublin. Okay, let's go in Ireland. I don't know, wherever you want. Yeah, explained or reported that. So now I'm going to reported speech, which is quite nice. So we're back shifting. Reported that national flights, you'd have to have that especially, and then you could have here were, because I've put it all in. I'm back shifting it because of that reported speech, was said to be one of the most polluting unnecessary transports in the world, and they could easily be substituted by trains. Okay, so here you don't even need a number. Now you're not using a percentage, but you're just giving an example, which is what you're asked to do, rather than hence, which is your writing. So do you see how that just tiny thing makes it, just changes it? Okay. You could put another example here. I don't think you need to, but you could. Saying that a certain percentage of businessmen said travelling was very important. Despite COVID, they still needed to travel or something. But even one example is okay. Enriching ways of spending holidays and leisure time and should therefore not be banned any. Yep. The negative impact of this development. Yes, good. So this is great. You're really going back into this conclusion with depth. Should be mitigated by enabling employees to work remotely. Very good. Really, really nice. That's a super essay. For me, you're absolutely on that band 7 there. No problem. Really, really good. Just watch out on little grammar things. Hopefully that's helped you there. But otherwise, really, really nice work, Hannah. Very good. So here we go. Sorry, bar chart. Now, what you got? Yeah, just about. Okay. Have a look on our website on all the stuff on Task 1 Academic. Okay, so I'll put a link in for you, but there's a lot of stuff in there. Get into the sort of format of this. For me, you need this sentence here, that's fine. Then you need an overall sentence. Okay, overall. And which is like your intro, and then 2 paragraphs. So, most popular movie genre, good, very nice, fine. Overall, let's go overall. We could take this. Comedies are by far. So we need to put the by far after the verb there. Comedies are by far the type of film that both men and women enjoy most. 145 for the survey. Choosing this option as their favourite one. Okay, so that's a nice overall. Okay, it doesn't have to be much, but it has to be like a highlight. What you could put is that the romantic ones were the least popular. So here I would try and use, this was the most and the other one was the least. So your highs and lows. Action movies and romantic are the genre where the opinions of the surveyed genders differ most. 137 men select action movie as their preference. So preference is okay. Yep, you could have first choice. or the category they liked most. So there's different ways of doing this to kind of add a few words, aren't there? While only slightly more than half of women had this preference. Romantic movies, in contrast, were chosen. Have been chosen, okay. You see, there's no date on it, so I think you have to have were here on this run. I mean, they were chosen at that moment. Chosen by, because you're talking back to the chosen during that survey rather than what they like still now, maybe. Were chosen by 116, okay. So could we connect this? Right, 1, 2, like maybe, okay, were. So romantic movies were 4 times more popular among women than men, with only 31 men selecting this category or whatever compared to X amount of women. So what I'm doing here is just shifting around this sentence to add in some more structure, basically. So were 4 times more popular, so I'm doing a comparison there among women than men, with only 31 men, so selecting this compared to. So you can see there, it's just a slightly different like structure of sentence, which works quite well. The remaining genres, which are animation, drama, are more equally shared and display a popularity between, okay, you need to do more comparisons. So you need to compare and contrast. You're grouping, okay, so that's, you've grouped them, that's fine, but you need to do more comparisons. So that is a little bit thin in terms of, you need to have one more sentence here. So trying to link them together in some way. So these type of film being the most, So you need to just find another one that was, so the ratings for horror were fairly similar, but they were half that of action. So relate the data to each other. So these, half that of action men for men, okay? You could say for women, these two were popular, but still less popular than comedy. Combined together, they were less popular than comedy. I'm going to make connections between the two different groups. Okay, I hope that helps you a little bit, and have a look on that website. Well done. I'll talk to you later.